Hi everybody. So I'm going to show you some analytics. You just read about analytics. You read about it in the Horizon report, and then also you took a Kahoot. So I'm going to show you the types of analytics that are in Kahoot, and then you've also done the module in Schoology, so I'm going to show you what kinds of analytics are available in Schoology. So let's start with Kahoot. So as a teacher, this is what you see in Kahoot after your class has taken the Kahoot. You can click download on any of those. I already did on an old Horizon report where my students used pseudonyms. So you can see here you have kind of an overview. Total correct answers, 82%. And then you can see the final scores, how many correct and how many incorrect. And then you can also see a question summary. So you can see really quickly how many students got incorrect, but also what their response was instead. And then you can do it by question. So you can see their answer time, which isn't always all that important, but you can kind of drill down into the data by question. So these are pretty indicative of the types of analytics that you get in the different tools that are available. I actually think Kahoot isn't that great because it forces you to download an Excel spreadsheet, and I think it'd be better if it was just in there. But that's one example. And then in Schoology, here I'm showing you the quiz that you just took. This isn't your data, but you can view it by student, which I'm not going to do because it'll show student names, or you can view by questions. So here you can see each question, you can see the stats of what people selected, and then you can also view individual responses, which I didn't mean to do. Here you can see the stats. All of the above was picked by 93%. And then here you can see all of these were actually true, and they were picked by various percentages. For essays, you don't really get to see stats. But if you give a quiz in Schoology, then you can go quickly see if the majority got it right, who got it wrong, and then also what their answer might have been if it was incorrect, so that you can guide instruction. The important thing is that in any of these programs that offer you some analytics, you should be using them to guide instruction. So if you know that 75% of your class passed, then you want to move them on to the next topic, but you want to take that 25% and remediate in whatever way that you need to. Okay, so while we're in Schoology, I want to show you how to create your own course, which you're going to use when we go to the Academy of World Languages on April 16th. This is going to be the beginning of your blended lesson plan. You're going to create that within Schoology. AWL uses Schoology, so the kids already have accounts, and so you're just going to get kind of a sample folder set up so you kind of know the different pieces of Schoology. So what you need to do first is go to Courses, My Courses, and then create a course. You can just name it, actually name it your last name first, and then whatever you want, class, or if it's, if you're middle and you want to do science, whatever, but definitely your last name first because it's hard for me to find courses now without your last name in it. Section name can stay the same. You can pick whatever you'd like here, it doesn't really matter. For level, please pick none, because anyone that has younger students, if you pick 3rd grade, then they require you to get a signature and submit a form. So we don't want to run into that problem, so go ahead and click none, and then I'm not going to really click create. You click create and it should take you to your class. I'm going to go ahead and go to my class. You can see how many I have, which is the problem. If you don't use your name, I'm going to go ahead and go to my class and show you the different parts of Schoology. So here we are in Schoology. I have a lot of things unpublished, hidden. The only thing you should be able to see are the learning analytics that you did earlier. So you should be in your own course, and I'd like you to follow these steps. So first you're going to add a folder. For now you can call it your blended lesson. So you're going to put all of your materials that you'll want students at AWL to participate in within a folder. We're just going to create some examples of what you might put in there. We'll decide on that later. So you have your folder. You can change the color of it if you'd like. If you want to put a description of it, so blended lesson on the rock cycle, for example, you can. You could also put an image there if you wanted, and you click create. That should pop up in your course, and then you need to click on it. You'll see the folder is empty, and here are the types of materials you might add to your folder to do with students. Now you only have about 20 minutes, so it needs to be a pretty short lesson. You're going to create a video for it later on. But here are the different types of materials. You can add an assignment. Now an assignment is if you want students to turn something in privately, you create an assignment. If you are just showing material, like a video or giving some instruction, you just do a page. So the difference between a page and an assignment is that you don't turn anything in for the page. So if you don't need students to submit, you can just do a page for information. Here's a test quiz like the one that you just did. You can add a file or a link here. I don't like using this feature as much because I prefer putting a link within the text and putting some descriptions, but you can do that here. Here's a discussion board. That's the first thing you did in the Schoology module you participated in. Media album and package you don't need. You also don't need to import from resources because you don't have any just yet. So let's just say you want to start out with the discussion board. Let's add a sample discussion board. Here you can title it whatever you'd like, and then you'd say discuss the following topic. Now keep in mind your age level that you're teaching. You want to keep it really simple if it's for second graders. If it's for older students, you can add a little more explanation. You can also add a picture here. You can add an image. So if an image would help the younger students, you might want to do that, or if it might help support ESL students, you might want to do that. At the Academy of World Languages, there are many English language learners there. So then you can also, there are two choices here in the discussion boards to think about. This one is that you can require members to post before they see the other responses, or everybody can see the responses. So it depends on if you want students to post something before they see other students' answers, you would select that. If you don't care and everybody's just sharing ideas, then you can just leave that unclicked. I'm going to click create. So you can see my discussion board right there. Now let's say you just want to add your video for some instruction. You can say, watch this video to learn more about the rock cycle. And then you can insert content here. Again, you can insert an image, media. If you have an embed code, you have to go here. Let me show that again really quickly. If you can either attach a file or you can link it with an embed code. Now, this is really important. Do not use YouTube videos. So don't upload the video that you create to YouTube. Don't pull a YouTube video because AWL blocks YouTube. So it would have to be on something else if you embed. Okay, so then that's it. They'll just watch the video there. And the final one I want to kind of show you in more detail is the test or the quiz. So here you can say rock cycle quiz. You don't have to give it a due date. Just make it worth 10 points. You have to give it a category. You'll just have ungraded, so you can just go ahead and put ungraded. And click create. So now you see that you can add questions, and you can add all different types of questions. True, false, multiple choice, ordering, short answer. Let's just do a multiple choice. Now remember, you have limited time, so you need a short video and you need a pretty short quiz if you're going to use one. So let's just do just maybe one or two multiple choice questions or true false questions. So what color is the sky? You put in blue, red, green. You can remove blanks to just have 3. You have to select, identify the correct answer. If you want to get fancy, you can get feedback for each one. So you could say, yes, the sky is blue, great job. No, the sky is not red, try again. You can add more blanks if you'd like. I removed to reduce it. You can also give incorrect or correct response feedback at the whole question level instead of each individual response. But you don't need to do that, just FYI. You can get pretty detailed in Schoology, and a lot of schools have this now, so it might be something you're using someday. You can randomize choices, allow partial credit, you can time the question. None of those things I recommend for what we're doing, but again, just FYI. Then you click Create Question, and then you can go ahead and add another question if you want. I'm not going to do that. Now, here's something important. When you create your quiz, you have to go to Settings and you have to enable it. It's automatically disabled, so students, even though they will be able to see the link, they will not be able to take the quiz unless you enable it. And then click Save Changes. It's thinking. Okay, so then on your, this is the link to your course. This is linked to your folder, so let's go back to your course. You should just have one folder, and if you click on that folder within there, within the folder, there are 3 items that we just added. So you will be doing something similar to this in at AWL. You might just have 2 items, whatever makes sense for you to teach a short 20-minute lesson, and then you'll get to discuss with your students how it went. This is challenging, but we'll have a practice day in class before we go, and we'll get some feedback from one another. So that's it for now. As long as you have done all of the previous assignments for this week and just created your course and a sample folder, you're good. Your homework is to read the Slate article, No More Pencils, No More Books, which is on Digo, and I'll see you next week.